we are in part 2 of our retrospective of the Saw franchise, and now we get to Saw 5, which, again, much like the last movie, was successful at the box office, and so it's obvious, so now we know that Hoffman is now the person running the shots. Yes. And what the story goes with this one is, it opens with a victim who
is trapped, and we hear a voice, which sounds, Jigsaw, and this guy is captured, and basically he's captured in this one trap where, like, this axe slowly gets down. It's like
trying to get to his
stomach, and this guy is captured, and it starts cutting him slowly into pieces, and it leads into all 5, and this is where we lead into, at the end of 4, where Riggs falls dead, pretty much, of suspected bleeding to death, and Strom was captured in this room where he killed Jeff, where Jigsaw's body is lying, where he's dead, and when he's trapped, he finds a tunnel he can try to go through, and when he goes through the tunnel, he ends up getting captured by Pigface, which we suspect it's Hoffman, and he wakes up in this box, and this box he's in, it kind of reminds me of like 13 Ghosts type thing, and water starts pouring in there, which leads to him, the trap is about him drowning.
Yeah, because he's afraid of water.
Yeah.
And he has to, the only way that he's able to get out is he has to use a pin, and so he stabs himself through his neck, or through his throat, in order for him to breathe.
Yeah, and then,
and that's also
alerts the cops, which eventually get there.
Yeah, and we see Detective Hoffman arrive, and we actually see closure with the daughter from the third movie.
One, which she didn't suffocate. Basically, Hoffman was, he walks out with her to try to make it look like he was a hero.
Yeah.
He basically planned on Strom to die in that trap, and that means every cop from the original 4 is dead. And he walks out victorious.
Yeah.
And he survives. And there ain't nobody original that can ever, capture. It's him. He won. And basically, as he took the girl out, they said, we got a survivor, and he gets pissed. He's like, shocked, like, what the fuck? And it's fucking Strom still alive.
Yeah.
And then we get to the scene where Strom actually survives his wound through the throat, and he comes into this to Prez, which got hurt in 4, and he's to learn that she possibly died. And as he's in there, Hoffman comes in there to comfort Strom, and Strom starts asking, what were you doing there? How did you know?
Yeah. And then that's where the whole film goes through the comfort. It's basically like a battle between Strom versus Hoffman, because as the film goes along, you're starting to see that Strom is starting to investigate what Hoffman's been up to, because not only is he like the last person who's alive from the previous cops, but it seems like Hoffman knows everything that's been happening. And so
and not only that, so we get, this movie really goes in a lot of very detailed flashbacks with as Strom is doing his investigating, he's putting one puzzle piece to another. He's like, so you were this. And he starts, alright, I think it's Hoffman. And he's trying to convince other people. Well, anyways, as he's trying to convince other people, we do get a new cop, actually. He's actually from the Pentagon. Like, he's an actual, like, FBI, like, big time. They find out cops are getting picked off one by one.
Yeah.
And it's that older dude. I can't remember the actor's name. He kind of looks like a guy who would play Commissioner Gordon type guy.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like him, but an older guy. But anyways, while we're getting that story, which is the majority story where Strom is slowly investigating, we get a lot of stories going on in this film. We get a kind of a short stint story of, not really short stint, we get a new group of people that are captured in these traps. Basically, they're captured over it's a bunch of city officials and some druggies. They were involved, all part of a plot that everybody got rich off of over a big apartment complex in the project area, which burned down and killed everybody living in the facility. And, you know, one guy was a meth addict who actually got charged with the arson, but got let go in technicality. Then you have one girl whose dad was a mayor. He helped his daughter get rich. One was a commissioner. One was a treasurer. Basically, these people got filthy rich off the situation. So, one by one, they go through all these series of traps, and they're getting picked off. But that was really minor role. The story is actually goes in probably the most detailed of backstories other than 4, maybe. This is probably the biggest flashbacks, but because you actually see how Hoffman meets Jigsaw.
Yeah, which is really interesting, because not only that, but you also get to see more of Jill Tuck's character, because she gets left with his remains after he dies.
Yeah, and it's like, and they get the will, and it has a box which we don't get to see open until 6.
Yeah.
So she's given this box, and she leaves. But we get a story going on here with Hoffman, and we find out that trap at the beginning of 5 with the sliced axe thing was actually set up by Hoffman. He did the voice. He tried to make it sound like Jigsaw. He did the trap. He did it all. Jigsaw absolutely had nothing to do with this. He didn't know this was happening. Yeah. So that trap was actually when Jigsaw was alive and he was well. So Hoffman, we get to learn that he's got a dirty past. And the reason why he killed that fucking dude, that was his sister's ex-husband, who we learned that Hoffman's sister's ex-husband murdered his sister.
Oh.
And Hoffman, you know, loses it. He was a druggie.
I forgot about that.
He was a druggie. He was drinking a lot, heavily. And he went nuts over his sister's death. And when he thought about, okay, I'll use Jigsaw's image by saying it's Jigsaw and blaming it on him and capture this guy, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
And make his trap
because unlike how Jigsaw was trying to bring them his victims to test them for redemption, Hoffman doesn't fuck around. He will actually murder your ass.
Yeah, he will murder your ass. So anyways, after doing what he's done and then doing some other dirty shit, Jigsaw is set up, or Hoffman is set up to where he's actually captured by Jigsaw. Jigsaw kind of does something where he kind of sets him up in an elevator, captures him, and basically he's trapped with his gun pointing at his throat.
Shotgun.
Yeah, shotgun. And basically he's trying to teach Hoffman, like, you know, you try to blame me for that. That was not mine. You know, that blade was inferior. It was crap. I would have done better. If you want a true edge, I would have went with this, you know, and all that stuff. So he gets Hoffman. He pretty much Hoffman. He had the gun loaded, but one chamber didn't have a bullet. You know, Hoffman survives, and basically, he's like, "You want to be a part of this?" And then, you know, Hoffman's, you know, is pretty much tricked and say, "Yeah." And then we actually get really detailed, because this is really why I really loved about this movie. We actually find out that this Hoffman trapped by Jigsaw was even before Gordon was captured.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And this actually shows us the fat guy. You remember part 1 where we had the fat guy and then you had the guy that burned those traps? It shows us actually more detail to those guys.
How they were set up and everything. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
And but also, they captured, and we find out that Hoffman helped in part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. He helped at all that shit. And part 5. And he set all those people up 5. And we get to learn he helped in the future ones, too. You know, he's been with fucking Jigsaw before Jigsaw was even, like, start feeling the cancer and all that. So
yeah.
And it showed the bald Jigsaw from 1, a lot of this.
Yeah, because this one had the flashback with him and Amanda.
And what's really cool is they do this I'll get to that one. They do this clever scene where they're actually setting up the part where the fat guy and then the guy that burns, and he goes, Hoffman looks at Jigsaw and goes, "We got a problem." He goes, "What?" "We got an officer named Tap."
Oh yeah,
and he's starting to investigate, and he brings up Tap, the girl's name, and he brings up the Asian's cop's name.
Yeah.
And he goes, "They're getting closer to us." And he goes, "All right." He goes, "I'll deal with them, but I need you to do something for me." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Take this light and report it. And he goes, we'll brainwash them and thinking it's Dr. Gordon.
Yeah, that was really clever.
And that was from the first one.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they do all that, and meanwhile, we get these people still going through all these tests. I'm not really going to go into detail with them, because really, I didn't really care for that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this film is probably my least favorite of the films, because, for one, I like the story involving with Hoffman versus Strom. I love their plot. It's just that the plot involving the people that were part of that building, I thought it was just very, like, a missed opportunity, because a lot of the deaths they do, they're not as gory.
They're not. It's toned down, but I do gotta say, I can't bash the movie too hard on that, because they actually really hardly even do them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Really, they're more of a side thing.
They're really not really a side. They're like a fucking small portion. I mean, they could have just done without them completely. I mean, they weren't in it much.
That's what I'm saying. They had to. I think because the writers were involved, they got them involved because it's a Saw film and you got to have traps. Because really, if they would have cut their parts out, the movie would have flowed a lot better.
Yeah, I love the Strom and Hoffman and Jigsaw,
and Strom, and the Jill Tuck storyline,
and Jill Tuck storyline. So, anyways, Strom is going through, but right now we got this other officer, another cop. I was telling you earlier. He's from
the older guy.
He's from Washington D.C. He's kind of working with Strom and helping him, but there's a twist. Hoffman is trying to convince this guy that Strom is the killer, while Strom is trying to tell him, no, I think Hoffman's the killer. So it's like that. So he can't trust both of them, and basically, towards the end, you get where Strom is like captures Hoffman, and you're like, okay, you got him, fucking got Hoffman. And then he threw him in this, like, that glass thing, which we see actually getting built in part 4. He goes, yeah, I got you, motherfucker. You're fucking through. I knew it was you motherfucker. And then that's where Hoffman goes.
He's like,
pointed down. And then that's the tape of Hoffman goes, you should have gotten the glass, told him.
Yeah, because that glass pretty much goes under the ground, because what he doesn't realize is that the walls are coming in, and that glass is supposed to be protecting him when he's inside.
Yeah, and the thing is while another thing I didn't mention much of throughout the movie, Hoffman actually does a very good, pretty much sets up Strom. And at the end, it's a very anti-hero movie at the end, because not only do Strom gets crushed slowly, which is also my second worst rated death, possibly the most painfulest death, slowly, which was so fucking brutal.
Yeah, when the walls are crushing, you see all like the skin and the bones being
breaking
crushed
out and screaming, all stuff, and then you see Hoffman smiling as blood pours on his glass by his face, and it's over with. But you get at the end where Hoffman did so good at making it look like it was Strom that the FBI agent ends. He goes, "It was Strom," and you think, "Oh man, it was never." You as an audience know it was never Strom.
It was always Hoffman.
It was always Hoffman, but you see that the FBI believes Hoffman at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
because
man.
Hoffman's the kind of guy that no matter what situation you put him in, he will always try to figure a way out.
Yeah.
So
I loved how ice clear this fucking. I noticed something about all these Saw movies.
The cinematography in this one.
The cinematography did a big step up compared to the other ones. I don't know what it was.
I noticed that.
But the cinematography was ice clear.
Very beautiful.
Compared to the other ones. Yeah. I don't know why, but the other ones had like gritty, and some of them were really nice looking, but this is probably one of the most ice clear movies I've seen out of the franchise. Not only that, I loved a lot of the theme music on this one, and I loved how it really did the most detailed of the history.
Well, I think also, as far as the cinematographer, I think this one was actually shot in HD cameras.
It was.
Supposedly, because
it was
there are parts, when it cuts to the death scenes with, the people that are involved, like the traps and stuff, you can tell that some of them might have been used with HD cameras.
Yeah. But this was actually my third favorite out of the franchise. I have 1 and 3 better than this movie, but because of the Strom thing and the Hoffman thing got me really investigated, and the detail of the visually, and I did like the backstory
Yeah.
Like, how it, like, connected everything from 1 through 5. Like, even the littlest shit that we didn't get detail of. And you're like, I wonder what ever happened that we finally get that. We get a lot of stuff in this film. I do agree on my downfall with this film was those people that were captured.
Yeah.
Really had no purpose in this film.
Though it was good seeing Julie Benz from Boondock Saints 2 in the role, but...
Yeah.
The
only gory part I did like out of the Traps one was the one where the two
that did
survive.
The two that were left. They were putting their hands inside that saw where they had to like saw their fingers off.
Well, no, it's not only that. They had a saw like down here, and that saw then split them in half.
Yeah, split their hand open
and their arms in half in 2 pieces. Oh my god, dude! It was like slowly done too. That shit was gory. Then we find out that they could have survived if they all worked together.
Yeah. See, that was the only thing that drew me off because like. Overall, I like Saw 5, but at the same time, I still have a lot more problems in it than you did because I thought that some of the characters were just very throwaway.
The one guy I didn't like was the Moby looking motherfucker. He was
bald-headed dude,
fucking annoying.
The bald-headed dude,
yeah, the British dude.
Yeah, he annoyed me a lot.
He stood out like a sore thumb because not only that, he's not even playing American; he's playing British, which makes him stick out.
Yeah.
So I didn't care for him, man. Not only that, I didn't like his cocky attitude.
That's what I'm saying. You know, there's certain, like, things about the death scenes that I thought they could have done a lot better with, too. Because the death scenes in this one is probably the least amount of, like, gore that I've seen in a Saw movie.
Yeah, but I still
enjoyed it for, like, the Strom and Hoffman aspect.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to give it probably a 7.5 out of 10.
I'm going to go and give this, I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10. Okay. This is my third favorite of the franchise.
Yeah, well, and now with the next one we have, with Saw 6, we have with this one, got me curious because this one deals with the story involving Hoffman.
I believe this is whenever we, this is the problem with 6. What happened with 6. This is where the Saw franchise not only would continue and still make money, but this is actually the one that actually lost a lot of money. Because now we get that we're going against Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, this film came out around the same time that Paranormal Activity 1 came out, and which at the time that was considered a big competition because nobody expected Paranormal Activity to make a lot of money as it did, and unfortunately Saw 6 didn't make as much as they did with their last movie. This one, they had tough competition. But with that being said, the story now involves where you have
Hoffman, starts out with these two who are captured, and that was pretty brutal. It starts out with these, like, it was this black woman and this big, fat white dude. And they're in this trap,
limbs.
And they gotta take much pieces off their bodies to throw in this thing, whichever weighs the most survives, while the loser gets his head drilled. Yeah, that was pretty, like, gruesome when they're chopping their limbs off and putting it on the weights. I love that part. Yeah, you know, and also, like, okay, and then we get to the story that involves Hoffman pretty much being on the run now, where he's, he's not on the run yet. Oh, sorry, not on the run. He's basically... He actually, because he survived 5, and he kills Strom, and he thinks that Perez is dead, and he's convinced the FBI agent that it was him, not me. It's now led to believe now that Hoffman is actually the ultimate hero. So now we go into 6, where everybody actually praises him as being a hero. Dude, you're awesome, man. You survived. You beat him. You defeated it all, and he even takes credit of even killing Jigsaw when he didn't kill Jigsaw. Yeah. So he gets praised for all that. So we get into 6 now, where we get this one guy, and he owns an insurance company.
Yeah, and then
health insurance company.
And as the movie progresses, you start to see that this insurance company had something going on with Jigsaw in the past, because in the past, Jigsaw, who was suffering from cancer,
and this is actually the first out of 7 did it too, but this is actually the other Jigsaw Saw movie that actually didn't really need Tobin Bell much.
Yeah, because this one, he was only in it for like a couple scenes, but this one, it shows that in a flashback, it shows that they fucked him on his insurance because he was dying of cancer, and pretty much the person who was part of the head running the insurance company said, well, unfortunately, because of your situation,
there's a lot of backstory with this insurance guy. He actually knew Jill Tuck more than he knew Jigsaw, and he went to a party, a host party, which was at Jill Tuck's hospital that he was at. So he goes and takes he explains how he donated a ton of money to Jill, which Jigsaw appreciated. Then he finds out he describes to Jigsaw how he makes formulas to where he can deny people coverage and let them die from their disease based off of their age, or if they did something that didn't really matter with the disease, or didn't matter, then anybody can survive anything. And the guy's like, well, if you're 60 years old, you're probably too old. And basically, he's calling shots, but yet he has no medical history to do that. So Jigsaw, in a sense, you choose who lives or dies.
Yeah.
What makes you that guy?
Exactly, and that's what forces...
and then, like you said, then Jigsaw gets that one intense scene, which is actually one of my most... I think it needs a lot of critical acclaim for this scene, because this is actually a very, a detailed, hell of a written story scene. Was the part where he's actually sitting there talking to the insurance guy up in the facility. He goes, there's a cancer, there's a guy that can treat it, and all that stuff, and then, he lives in Norway, I need you guys to cover this, it's called blue, it's like a certain chemo thing, and he's like, nah, he goes, your type of cancer is, so-and-so, but the guy don't know anything about medical, so how does he know about it? So he's like, and plus your Dr. Gordon told me that, you shouldn't do it, and, he would know better than you do, and he goes, Dr. Gordon doesn't care anything but fucking putting his hand on the doorknob, getting paid all day.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about. He don't help me. And he goes, that's the reason why I want to switch doctors. And the insurance guy is like, no, if you do that, I'm going to kick you off, and you ain't paying for shit. And then, you get, a really detailed, where he starts talking more political shit in this. Where he's looking at, Hillary Clinton talking on TV. And he's like, he goes, the people who choose for us to live from these, to defeat these diseases isn't done by the government or by the fucking people or the doctor. It's by the fucking insurance company.
Yeah, I gotta tell you right now, as the film goes on, you start to see that the film is actually kind of a commentary on our health system.
Yeah, it is, and it's really political, but I generally don't like that type shit in movies. But for this one, I gave it an exception. It didn't go too far out there with the political shit, which pisses me off when movies don't need to be in. But it did a health insurance thing, which I actually was really into. I actually enjoyed that. But not only that, as he's going along through these traps, we find out that he has the people that he's fighting against, or he's trying to save. That it's kind of like how 4 was, where it's people who he wants to save. These are colleagues of his. These are people he works with. And these people that trust him and love him, and they know about his corruption, but they don't tell anybody because they get paid extra bonuses to keep their mouths shut.
Exactly.
So he has to watch them slowly die in painful ways as he goes throughout the traps. And while that's going on, little does he realize, we get another story, which isn't where this wife and this son is captured. And later on, we'll go into more detail. They're captured for the main purpose of their husband was denied health insurance, and he died under that because of that fucker. And they get to choose whether he lives or fucking dies.
Which I love that, because that not only shows that, you fuck with our health, the health insurance fucks us, but yet, in the ironic way, we will fuck you up.
So, while we got that going on, we get a story of Hoffman now feeling like he's won. He feels like he won as he goes through, all these phases. But then, as he gets ready to talk to the FBI agent, he goes, guess what? And he's like, what? And then, I can't really remember the scene, but then Perez, Strom's partner, comes in. She didn't die.
Yeah, she was still alive.
And he goes, I thought you died. And he's basically saying, well, we had to make it look like that until we knew that it was until we knew who was part of Jigsaw's plan, which was either you or Strom, and I guess it was Strom. Then Prez is sitting there kind of like, I don't think it was Strom. I know him. I've known him. He's been my partner forever. And then you can kind of see how she's questioning, just like Strom questioned Hoffman all the time. She's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
The Hoffman, like, I know it was you. Like, not saying I know it was you. She obviously ain't going to get to that scene yet. But she's like, so where were you at this time? Then why were you that, and kind of going throughout that. So you get that storyline going. Then you get a Jill Tuck thing, too, at the same time, where she's kind of like seeing flashbacks of Jigsaw where he's bald, and it's at the beginning where he's convincing her, like, be a part of, respect what I'm doing to these people, what I'm doing to all these people. I'm testing them and stuff. And this is actually the only other Saw movie where Amanda comes back as a cameo.
Yeah, she has...
Came the part where they're at the doctor's office where Jill owned, and she's like, yeah, the tests do work.
Yeah, I remember that.
And convincing Jill, and then Jill looks at Jigsaw and she goes, yeah, I'll be part of it.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah.
As you start to see throughout the film, what I enjoyed the most is that you're seeing not only the way that Hoffman's going into making sure that he's making a clean slate of everything, but also the fact that you're having these really, really great visual this production value they use with the traps in this one. Like, the carousel scene is probably one of my second favorite traps.
Yeah,
of the
and
franchise.
I did like that how they had that stint of like a very carnival feel to it.
Yeah,
I did love that where they had the whole black and red theme.
Yeah,
because doing that. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, visually, like, this one has some of the most like creative traps that I've seen in the franchise, and also I love the way that they speak about our health system, because the movie does have a great commentary of how shitty our health system is.
Yeah,
and you start to see unfold how things go with Hoffman. And the way that it sets it up is that now he has to deal with not only Perez, but also Jill Tuck, because Jill Tuck's now starting to realize things.
Well, he doesn't know about the whole Jill Tuck thing. The thing is, in Part 5, I forgot to mention that in Part 5, when she was given the box when he died, she was given 5 folders to give to Hoffman to get these 5 people, which were the people from from previous movie where they did the city thing. But then as the movie progresses, the insurance guy gets through. He gets to his last stage where he sees the kid and the son, and they get to determine whether he lives or dies. While that's happening, Hoffman actually gets captured by a pig face. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that threw me off at first. I was like, what the hell?
Hoffman? And then you start to speculate, okay, it's probably Jill, and it was Jill. And as Jill traps him, and she puts on the fucking thing from part the
first bear trap.
The first bear trap, yeah.
And then and then she
traps it, and then traps him. And while that's happening, they're watching the videotape of the insurance guy going through his shit with if he's going to live or die from that the parent and the son going to determine whether he lives or dies. And while that is getting ready to happen, she's basically determined if. Basically, what it is, if the insurance guy doesn't get killed, doesn't die, then Hoffman is free. Obviously, the kid, you think the fucking mom is like, I forgive you. And the son doesn't forgive him, so he pushes the button, which, that was a pretty brutal scene, because it's a bunch of needles that lands on his back.
Yeah, I remember
and shoots acid and melts him.
Yeah, that was some, gruesome shit right there. Acid always, disturbs, it always creeps me out, and, acid is always something a shock to see.
Melt and stuff.
Yeah.
And because of that, then you see, then you go to the scene where Jill Tuck looks at Hoffman. She goes, "Game over." And you're like, "Oh fuck, Hoffman's about to die." Yeah,
and then Hoffman rips open his whole.
No, he's like, "Oh!" And he's sitting there, and then the music's playing. You think it's over for him and shit, and then he's sitting there bashing, breaks his fucking hands so he can slip out. And just as it's getting ready to rip his mouth open, he breaks through this 2 metal things that hold it from really going over and killing him. So whenever he goes through the thing, it traps it, and he shows that, he takes the mask off and tears his fucking side of his cheek wide the fuck open, and it ends with him screaming "Ah!" That was, oh my god, that was awesome. dude, where he's sitting there, half his face is gone, he's still alive.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck.
That was a great ending.
That means he's going to come back for payback.
Yeah. And so,
overall, what do you say about this?
This one I do like a lot better in 5 because not only does it push more of the Hoffman where he's basically on, like, he's basically free of, he's trying to tie up any loose ends, but also I love the commentary because this is the first Saw film where they're actually, you know, it's basically a satire on, or not a satire, a commentary of how politically incorrect it is for, or how they go for like a political.
Before we go to that, I forgot about 6. What happens? So the Hoffman story, we didn't get to that detail. So here's the part on the where Hoffman, Prez is so eager to know that it is Hoffman. So as they get ready to go down, he gets called to the office by the FBI old dude from 5 and 4 and 5. And he's like, come to the office. I need to talk to you. And it's Prez sitting there, and she goes, we got the tape from the guy from the axe. She goes,
part 5.
And we're about to reveal whose voice that is. Hoffman knows I did that fucking tape. And that's whenever that girl plays that tape and she fixes it. And then it's Hoffman going, right now you're feeling helpless, and it shows Hoffman's voice, and that's where he slit the throat of the FBI agent, killing him, and then he stabs Prez to death, and he's like, who the fuck knows it's me? And she goes, everybody. So now this is the last time that Hoffman is free.
Yeah.
And now he knows he has to go on the run now.
Yeah, I remember that.
He stabbed her to death, but anyways, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, overall, like, I do give this one a lot better as far as, like, you know, up in the game with Hoffman, especially Costas Mandylor, because just seeing him, like, in every one of these movies, man, he's always a hoot to watch, because this man is fucking vicious as
he kind of reminds me of fucking Javier Bardem.
Yeah, from No Country Road, man.
Yeah, fucking...
Yeah. Just going on
Antoine Sugar or some shit.
Just giving no fucks. He's like, no, I got to make sure nobody takes my ass down.
That's a great comparison between them two.
He's pretty much that equivalent, only he's a cop instead of, you know, a criminal on the run.
So anyways, what do you got to give this?
I'm going to give the movie a 8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 too. It's, I actually have it, like I said, I actually kind of tie it with 4 is up there. I'm going to go, so far in my rankings, so far of what we've done, Saw 1's my favorite. Saw 3 would be my second. Saw 5 would be my third. And then I would have to say maybe Saw 4 and then 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to choose between which one I like better. 4 or 6.
Yeah.
That's my 4th, 5th favorite.
That's how it is with me.
I'm going to have to maybe... It's going to be hard to choose, man. I'm just going to slightly give 4 better than 6 because of the detail of the story, the backstory. So it'd be 4 and then 6. But anyways, I'm going to go 8 out of 10 on 6.
Fair enough. Now, between this, I'll go in a little detail on this because I know more about this than you have. Between this and the next one, we actually got a video game of Saw, which was pretty much the Saw the video game came out around the same time that Saw 6 did, and pretty much the game involves taking place between 1 and 2. In the game, you play as Detective Tapp, who is captured by Jigsaw after surviving from the first game, or from the first movie, sorry, and you have to go through all these traps. Now, what's cool about this game is that you can not only survive from all these different traps they set up, but you also get to encounter characters from the movies as well, like Amanda and Obi and all them. So they do tie some things that are pretty clever from the movies. So I do highly recommend it if anyone gets a chance to play that game. Now,
so due to the failure of 6,
because of productivity, we actually had a script in mind. There was
7
and 8, but unfortunately, because of timing issues, the writers, the writers decided to take the half of the script of 8 and convert it into 7. Yeah. So now that unfolds with Saw 7, aka. Saw 3D, aka the Saw the Final Chapter.
Saw 7 the Final Chapter. So when this movie came out, this was one of the few movies out of the Saw series I actually seen the poster before the trailer. I was actually in a movie theater, and that's when I seen the one where Jigsaw's getting built.
Yeah.
Like a statue, big giant statue. I'm like, the fuck? and then I read that on the thing, it says, the last piece of puzzle is finally here, and it says it's over with after this. So I was like, oh, this is going to be it.
Yep.
Finally going to come to a closure. But then again, I was starting to think, I was really anxious to see Hoffman coming back all scarred up and shit. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a final battle. And basically saying that. And then I seen the trailer to, happily, I seen the poster and said, oh man, I'm going to have to wait to see the trailer. But it ended up playing in that movie I went and seen. And that was the one where they did that, it goes, you can't hide. That one?
Yeah, I remember.
Games have a new design.
Well,
and then he's like, and then that's whenever they did throughout the trailer, it said, get ready for the final Saw. I was like, damn. I was like, alright, this is going to be the end.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it, because not only that, but I think I remember seeing the trailer that was actually in 3D, because it was showcasing.
It did that 3D one where those people were in the theater.
Yeah.
Like they were part of the game and shit.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. So, anyway, we now get to Saw 3D, or aka Saw the Final Chapter, which involves, the opening involves pretty much these two guys that...
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you right now, before we get anything, this is gotta be the worst fucking Saw movie I've ever watched.
Well, it's not only that. It's not only the worst, but this is the problem. All these movies, I've rated from 7 on up to 9.5 out of 10. This one, we're talking about a major fucking drop. This movie, I don't know what the fuck they did with this movie. This movie, we're talking about A+, A+, B+, A+, C, A+, A, shit like that. And then we got a F fucking minus. We're talking about, it kind of reminded me of the fucking Die Hard series. You have 1, awesome, 2, awesome, 3, oh my god, it was amazing. 4, doable, good, yeah, I like it. Fuck, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt. Okay.
Dude, it's like, how did you make so many good movies, and then you give us you're telling us this is the end of the fucking franchise. You gave us one of the worst films of that fucking year.
Yeah. Okay, so the story goes, it opens with these two guys that are in this trap. This is a weird fucking, situation. Okay, these guys are in broad daylight. They're having to saw each other or something in order to... they have, this girl who they both have...
First of all, it's weird that we'd be going in these normal traps knowing that Jigsaw's already been dead, and this is a reveal that's been months in a row, so... Why would they continue something as little as people cheating on each other? I mean, these people are just, so... It's really... these people don't need to even be in a Saw thing, because the only thing they've done wrong was they fucking around each other. This is something you'd see maybe in Saw 1, but why going through all this matters in Saw, Jigsaw actually caring for really bad people, like people who burn down buildings with people living in, getting rich, insurance people, stuff like that, and then cheating.
Yeah, that's out of fucking nowhere.
It's just okay, now we went... Alright, at least Saw 5, there's a purpose why he wanted those people, because they got rich off of killing people. And 6, insurance people. This one cheating?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Not to mention, here's a weird...
Tell me this. Tell me, how the hell did he build a big-ass building in the middle of fucking broad daylight in a goddamn metro city without a goddamn cop noticing?
What's behind that curtain?
I'm sorry. If I was building something at midnight, I'm sure a cop's going to stop me and go, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And what is this doing in a city hall?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This draws any logical point out of the fucking movie right. And not only that,
it's the first one that actually destroys all the concepts.
Yeah.
Every concept, even continuity, is destroyed. Everything is absolutely obliterated. Alright, so like he said, we get these kids. The whole moral was them fucking cheating. This girl was cheating on both of them, fucking them both. Who gives a fuck? They're sitting there having to pull each other towards Saws. And in the winter, and they decide, oh, fuck the bitch, she dies. So then, that was really pointless. That was probably the worst opening I ever fucking seen.
Yeah. So then we get into the storyline involving Hoffman,
where he ripped out of that
thing. Rips out of it, and it starts right at the end of 6, where his plan is to go after Jill, and Jill
he sews his face up, and now he's determined to go after Jill. Meanwhile, somehow during 6, they were able to have a new police department rebuilt. And already have cops. And these cops are actually walking around this police station like they've been living in the city for years. Hoffman pretty much was wiping out the police department. Yeah. And you guys don't even know anything about the FBI or Perez or anything. This continuity is so fucking... Like, okay, now, what the fuck is going on here? No one knows about the Perez. She's not mentioned. The fucking detective... The FBI dude is not fucking mentioned. They don't know that their bodies are laying somewhere. Hoffman burned down the police station when he killed them. He lit it on fire. Let alone, we got a police station that's still standing. There ain't no fire. No one knows about our Perez. So this movie is actually doing what the first 6 movies didn't do. They stayed continuity, and they went one after another, while this one is actually saying that none of that never fucking happened.
Yeah.
But the movie is also hinting that it all didn't. I was confused throughout this fucking film. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. While we get into that, we get into a story with a guy named, played by Sean Patrick Flannery from Boondock Saints, which I like him in those movies.
Which is funny because we talked about it earlier. Julie Benz from Saw 5 was also in Boondock Saints 2, which was also starred Patrick Flannery.
Yeah, but Patrick Flannery, I like him. He's an enjoyable actor. I thought that he was a clever choice. This was before I knew what the plot was going to be. His motivation for this film makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Yeah, okay, so we have the story okay, we get the story that's going with Hoffman going after Jill, because Jill is now in a custody with this dude.
He looks familiar.
He's that dude from Final Destination 1, Todd.
Yeah, Todd, yeah.
And him and his people, or him and his team, and then we're having the storyline involving Sean Patrick Flannery, who's at a host group of victims that we're not even fucking sure. No.
One of them was from Part 6.
Part 6, yeah. So we do get victims that were from previous, which is cool. But here's the weirdest fucking part. Sean Patrick Flannery's character is playing a guy who claims that he's done a trap before from Jigsaw and claimed that he survived.
Yeah. But he didn't.
When he didn't.
He's never been. He tried to get rich off it.
Yeah.
So we get that. So while he's lying to these people and he wrote a book about something that he never went through. He meets these people at this room. Other than that girl that cut her arm off in Part 6, every one of these other people that did play in this group, majority of them were people who never was in any of these films, so they did quick flashbacks.
Yeah. Not to mention, and here's what kind of drew me in when I first seen it. I was like, because here they actually bring back Dr. Gordon this time.
Yeah, and he's sitting there clapping. He goes, brilliant. But though he is playing a cocksucker.
Yeah, because this one he has a cane, and because he lost his foot, so he's got a cane. He's basically playing Dr. Loomis from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
The second one,
where he
survived something, so he's being a dick about everything, trying to get rich off.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, anyways, you get Patrick Flannery, which we told you about him. He wakes up in a box, I believe, or somewhere. Where the fuck did he wake up again? I forgot.
It's been a while since I watched it.
I had a hard time sticking with this movie because this movie was, really fucking messy. So anyways, we're just going to say he goes through a series of traps, and these are people he's lied to or was part of his lies that he has to try to save. They go through traps, like every Saw fucking movie. But anyways, while that's going on, the main thing this movie should have been paying attention more of, which I actually pay attention less of, is
the Hoffman storyline.
Is Hoffman versus Jill.
Yeah,
so Jill's with these people, but then there's stories that don't make no fucking sense that doesn't come into Patrick Flannery's traps, like the head singer of Linkin Park.
Yeah, Chester Bonham or something.
Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
Or whatever his name is. Well, anyways. So his trap has nothing to do with any of that. He's not even part of Flannery's or the other ones.
That's what I'm saying.
He's just a random trap that ain't related to anybody.
Yeah, because all that happens is he's in this trap where he's in a car, and then the cops that are protecting Jill find him in that junkyard.
So anyways, let's just, we get to the story of the cop that's protecting Jill, which is the guy from Final Destination. We get a little small backstory that him and Hoffman have bad blood from way before Jigsaw even existed. And this was about a thing where this guy pretty much trying to be a good cop. He's a good cop. He's nice. He don't break the law. He doesn't do crooked shit. And he's dealing with a lot of criminals that he's getting tired of. And Hoffman is actually showing up these crime scenes and doing bad shit and right in front of them. He goes, "You're going to keep your mouth shut. You can't tell nobody." So basically him and Hoffman has had bad blood for many years. So they kind of got this thing. But Hoffman's also, because everybody knows he's a killer, at the beginning of the movie, he's already made videotapes where he doesn't even have to wear pig face or anything no more. He has a scar face. He goes, "Yeah, I'm the killer. So what? What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
I'm the killer now. Yeah, it ain't Jigsaw, it's me now." And, like, everybody knows it's him. So he doesn't even have to hide his identity. He makes tapes directed to all the cops saying, "Yeah, I'm coming. Yeah, you ain't gonna see me coming." Which... Man, this movie, not only that, oh my god, talk about very, 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 very poorly shot. Yeah, the first 6 films are made like theoretical movies, but this looked like it was straight from sci-fi.
Yeah, it did. The cinematography, I don't know what it is, but the cinematography they use in this film is fucking weird. They have this white filter over it that makes it look like a straight-to-TV movie.
Oh my god,
fucking
dude.
Awful.
Well, I tried to watch the scene the other day, dude. I couldn't... dude, it sticks out like a fucking sore thumb out of this whole fucking franchise, dude. It seriously... Like, seriously. I watched Lake Placid 4 and 5, wherever the fuck it is. Anaconda versus Lake Placid. And that is pretty bad that I can actually compare both cinematographies together. Let alone, I can compare their acting together.
Yeah, because surprisingly, this one had like very
acted.
awful. Besides Costas Mandylor and Jill Tuck, the girl who plays Jill Tuck, the rest of the acting was awful.
I'm sorry, especially, but that guy that plays Final Destination,
yeah, he was horrible,
even bad in this movie, dude. Let alone, he had the worst fucking out of nowhere deaths ever. He got shot by a fucking gun.
He got shot with that gun from Goldeneye,
and there's no
that
purpose.
pops up, and granted, it's cool, but if it was in a different movie, but
it was, dude, that was even sci-fi looking. I was like, man, this fucking... I wouldn't seen this movie in theaters. I'm gonna tell you right now, this movie... Dude, how do you fucking destroy a movie? Alright, you have a movie. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These movies are theoretically. They're good. They're very good. Some are, alright. But they're always good. And they're making something. They announced, we're going to make the final climax. And you gave us probably one of the worst movies ever fucking made in history as your fucking climax?
Well, it gets worse because...
We go from Oscar-winning horror torture films to fucking Razzle?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the Razzles as
Razzies.
Razzies as in good movies that accidentally go there. I'm talking about, like, makes Good Day look good.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but it doesn't help that we
Good
get...
Day, Die Hard look good. Okay, this is probably... I'm going to tell you right now, this it was 2010, right?
Yeah.
This is probably one of 2010's worst movies of the year.
Yeah, because not only that, but we get that... Okay, here's one of the biggest fucking continuity issues I've seen in this movie. You have the flashback that shows Sean Patrick Flannery where he's doing a signing for a book, and then you have
book signing
where you have Jigsaw in only one scene in the fucking movie where he's actually look like he's Eminem because he's like fucking healthier and shit. He comes in and
it's funny because he comes in, he knows that he's lying about question him. He goes, obviously can't say I'm Jigsaw, I know you're lying, but he's kind of like, yeah, you're lying, and all that stuff. But this is supposed to be way before he even shaved his head to get
cancer.
This is before he met Hoffman. This is before he met Gordon. This is before he met Adam. This is before he knew Amanda. This is before all that. Where the fuck were you this past few fucking years? Why? Oh, Jigsaw goes, well, it's 2004. I'm going to get you in 2010. I'm going to wait many years to capture your ass. While he directly went after the people right on the bat.
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense, dude. It makes no fucking sense at all.
No.
Let alone, he had the most gayest fucking death. Patrick Flannery finally dies at the end and gets the most gayest death ever in history, where he touches a fucking shotgun and goes, let alone that most unrealistic fireplace scene. Now we're doing Transformers right here. Yeah, so this is going in advance.
Dude, because his wife is put in this situation where he has to try to save her, but she's getting like this weird like.
So we get through this. All right, so we get through that. I'm going to talk about that. I'm not going into detail. It's over with. So Brian is dead. While that's going on, we get the cop that died. He got shot and all that stuff. So we get Hoffman. He's practically just going in here and just killing people. Boring. He's just stabbing people. It's just stabbing people left and right, and it's just boring. These people are just... And you can see the sci-fi look to it while he's doing it. I'm like, man, this movie is so fucking bad from A to Z. It's not even funny. So he captures Jill, and it's sad because this is actually the only thing I like about this film. They give us that surprise closure where he kills Jill, and that same trap he put in an
ironic twist, which I liked.
Game over, and it rips her face. That's gory as shit.
And here's where I gotta say, if the movie would have ended there, I think it probably would have at least had like an ambiguous note, but that could have worked. Because basically how I'm putting it is, you could have Hoffman kill Jill, but still be on the run, but eventually someone would catch up to him eventually.
And then give it a many years arrest.
Yeah.
They could have done that. Alright. Alright. This is cool, but it was so predictable because I think by Saw 2 or 3, I was even calling... When I noticed that there was apprentice, I knew that Gordon was going to be an apprentice. He was the only one that never got a closer that we didn't know what ever happened.
Yeah, because, I kept thinking to myself, going into the 7th one, like, what the fuck happened to Dr. Gordon? Because in the first one, we never see what happens after that.
I knew he was going to... it was going to show that he was actually a part of the end, where he actually did all the surgeries for all the fucking people from all the movies. And then he's saying if something happens to Jill, do something about it. It shows Alright, so whenever Hoffman kills Jill, he goes to his thing and he's burning all the evidence, and he knows that it's over with. I gotta go on the run now. And then he gets captured by these 3 pig faces, and it's Dr. Gordon. And then the videotape, it started getting all the flashbacks from all the movies, which this is the only part I like about the movie, even though it's so predictable.
Yeah.
I guess with the theme music and all that, it was alright.
I do like that they at least did that, but at the same time, it threw me
off.
The fact that it was Dr. Gordon the whole fucking time.
Well, it was... See, it threw you off, but I already knew that. That's why I didn't like the ending. Even though I knew it's cool that you want Gordon to do that, I just knew it was going. And Saw 3... You're talking about like 5 years before this movie came out. I already said Gordon was the killer. That's pretty predictable, and if you could predict a movie that early, and that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
So they should have said, since everybody's predicting Gordon, let's change it up, people.
Well, not
they
just that.
They didn't do that, and then Gordon fucking traps fucking
Hoffman in the same bathroom, which is granted, it's a good refreshed it's like a good twist. It's good going back to the first movie again, but this is what fucking throws me off badly, and they do it in the most worst possible way. They put him in the bathroom, and Gordon takes away the saw, says, no, I don't think so, and he leaves him in there. Okay, first of all, I'm pretty sure fucking Hoffman can get out of there. He's been able to survive from that reverse bear trap, so you know he's going to be able to survive.
Yeah.
But not just that, but the 3D in this movie, when I saw it in the theater, was fucking bad.
Dude.
The only shot they did cool was when Gordon threw the saw. But that...
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, this movie was just fucking... I didn't like anything about it. Dude, I liked Saw 1 through 6. How do you go from...
to flatline.
And that was and you always gotta, if you're gonna do the final of a movie or a franchise, that has to be good.
Yeah.
You can't flatline like that.
It did. Not just that, but also the 3D sucked too, because
everything's...
Well, the 3D sucked, the acting for the most part sucked, besides Costas Mandalore, and... the traps were even worse too, because they felt like they weren't even trying anymore.
They weren't even trying. Everything was boring, dude. This movie was just the shittiest acting, the shittiest visuals. It looked like a sci-fi film. It was a fucking mess. The continuity was fucking destroyed. The concept was even horrible. acting, that fucking everything from A to Z was so bad. This fucking film. This movie, I walked out. It was extremely fucking painful to watch. I believe to this day, I was in my own jigsaw trap getting through this fucking piece of shit. I would have probably killed myself.
Yeah, I gave it one of the worst movies of the year that year.
Yeah, it was one of the worst movies of that year. It was probably, I think, it was probably almost tied for the worst movie of that year. That's sad because these Saw movies never made that. And then now, all of a sudden, I got the final Saw, and it's actually one of the worst movies of the year.
Yeah, and with that, I'm giving the movie probably a 1.5 out of 10 overall.
Yeah,
like it has only one part, and that's Casas Mandalore. But even him, Hoffman, because he's fucking sidelined in this one when he's supposed to be the main fucking character, like the main focus, ruins everything.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go worse on you on this one. This movie was probably the worst 2010 film of the year for me. I'm gonna go 1 out of 10. This movie was so fucking awful, dude. I felt like I was in a jigsaw trap just going through this. I wanted to slit my fucking wrist. It was that bad. I actually had to go and buy an Advil at fucking Easy Mart. I walked out. Dude, that movie was just so bad, dude. I swear I had bald patches in my fucking hair. I walked out, my eyes were bugging. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch?
I know.
What the fuck? All the Saws were good. What the fuck was that shit?
Exactly.
Just like I did when I went and seen Good Day.
I was the same way, man.
I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
How do you fuck the final movies of all your franchises up? Why is it always the good franchises do so good, and then the final one is like, you went from that to fucking to C-rated? Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've seen some B-rated films. I've even seen some C-rated films that make straight to fucking fan. I've seen fan-made movies better than Saw 3D. Yeah. That is saying a lot.
Yeah, it is. Well, with that being said,
like I said, 1 out of 10.
Since this was the worst one, this pretty much killed the franchise, and it didn't make hardly any of its. Like it made a profit at the box office, but it didn't make any of the success that the other films did.
Good,
and now,
it didn't fucking deserve it.
And now we were talking. We found out here now. Pretty much since that movie ended the franchise, there was little to no hope that there was going to be another movie. But we found out earlier this year that there is going to be a new one coming next year called Saw Legacy, which I'm looking forward to because now, for one thing, if they can clear up that fucking ending, I will be happy. But also,
you know what? I'm very particular. Let's say, you know what? Let's keep continuing. But this is one of the fucking few times I gotta say, I wouldn't mind that Saw 8 is like should be a reboot of 7.
Yeah.
And 7 should be thrown in a fucking trash can.
Yeah, here's what I think they could do. They could probably do it to where they can fix the ending of 7 and still continue the franchise, because that way they can keep it fresh. The only problem with that is that knowing that there's probably going to be future sequels, they're probably going to be like, no, we'll...
I will say this, man. I did a Saw franchise. You know how you do, like, where you do franchises, where you go and do franchises and you watch the series for, like, you know, like, reboot. You watch the whole series, like a marathon. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to admit, man, after watching 1 through 6, I didn't watch 7. 6 was considered my final Saw movie.
Well, to be fair,
because 7, dude, man, you know what I did? I just like put it on, watched a scene or two, and I was like, boom, boom. I watched it in under 3 minutes. I said, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, that's the thing with me with like other franchises. But to me, I will own 7 someday.
I will,
but just for collector's purposes. But overall, that's really all we got as far as the franchise. We guys, thank you so much for listening to us on our overall as a franchise. I like the first 6 films. They had some problems here and there, but 7, the worst one.
Yep.
What did you guys think of the Saw franchise overall, or any of them individually? Comment below, and if you guys like what you see here, you can check out more of our retros here on over on SoundCloud and on YouTube, and we'll be having more of them coming up here soon. We'll see you guys later.
Later.